So this should be a nice laid back recipe. We're not going to really have to chop or anything, so that will be nice. So the first thing we're going to want to do, let me just pull this up really quick. So the first layer that we're going to work on is the blueberry mixture. So the blueberry mixture is the only one I believe that's going to require the heat. And that has to cool. So that's why we're going to do that one first. So we're going to need a small saucepan. So everyone take out a small saucepan. This is kind of my small one. I have a really small one and that's too small. So I'm just going to use this size. Then once everyone has that out, just give me a thumbs up. All right, looks like we're all pretty good. So then to the saucepan, the first thing we're going to add is 2 cups of blueberries. My container of blueberries is like this size. What does it say on here? 9.8 ounces. I'm going to go as far as to say this is probably 2 cups. So I'm just going to dump the whole thing in there. If you have a bigger one where you'd want to measure the 2 cups, you can totally do that. But that looks like 2 cups to me. So I feel like that's easy enough. And then once everyone has those blueberries in there, give me another thumbs up. We will get our sugar in there. Okay, looks like everyone's good too. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna measure 2 tablespoons of sugar and add that right into the pan with the blueberries. So I just have my container of sugar. I know I've done this before, but so I'm going to use my tablespoon to scoop the sugar, and then I'm going to use the back of a butter knife and just scrape across so I have it leveled. Pour that in there, do that again. So that way we know that's exactly 2 tablespoons. And then once everyone adds their sugar in there, give me another thumbs up. Looks like everyone's doing pretty good so far. All right, so with everything in there, we're now going to turn this on to medium heat. And we're just going to watch these as we go through the rest of the steps, and just kind of stir them occasionally. So just make sure you have a heat-proof spoon, spatula nearby so that we can occasionally look to that mixture and stir it as the blueberries start to break down. So then when everyone is ready, just give me another thumbs up because we're going to be jumping a few steps. So I just want to make sure everyone is following the same step. I see a bunch already. Awesome. Okay. It looks like everyone's good. Does anyone need any more time? Okay. Looks like everyone's good. So now we're going to go down to step number 5. So we're going to need a large mixing bowl. We're going to work on the lemon pudding mixture. So we're going to need a large mixing bowl first. So I have like the sides here. The first thing we're going to add is our box of instant lemon pudding mix. So mine just in a box, we're just going to take that bag out and pour the powder out into the bowl. Simple, simple. Get that there. For anyone just joining us, we just started on step number 5. We have our blueberries and our sugar in a saucepan as well, starting to cook down a little bit. And we just added our lemon pudding mix into the bowl. So once everyone has that in there, thumbs up again. Oh, I see someone doesn't have the recipe. Let me send that in here really quick first. All right, here is a copy. It's a link to the recipe. Let me know if you guys get it. Is that link opening up for you guys? Okay, perfect. All right, I hear my blueberries sizzling a little bit too, so I'm gonna just move over here quick before we work on the pudding again and just stir. I'm just stirring everything as it starts to break down a little bit. We'll take a couple stir breaks as we work on the lemon layer. Okay. So the next thing we're going to add to the lemon layer is, how much is it? 1¼ cup of cold milk. So I have whole milk. You can use whichever milk you guys have on hand or whatever you prefer to use. And I just have a liquid measuring cup here. And then simple, just measure 1¼ cup. And I'm gonna pour that right into the pudding mix. Once everyone's done with that, do another thumbs up. All right, and then we're gonna do a stirring break again. So we're gonna come over to our stove again and just stir those blueberries. I'm starting to get some pop open a little bit so I can see that purple color forming. And the sugar's dissolving. All right. So then once we've had our milk added and we've stirred our blueberries, give me a thumbs up. All right, I see a bunch. Awesome. Great job, everyone. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna add to the same bowl with our lemon pudding mix is one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. So this will be very simple too. We're just gonna add the whole can in there. I'm just gonna open this up. Just be careful of this part because that can be sharp. And then just gonna pour the whole thing in. I'm gonna get a spatula too to help me get this out of there because it's pretty thick. So I'm just gonna take another spatula to help me get this out of the can because it is pretty thick. Scrape on the side. All right. So once we've got that added, one more thumbs up, we're gonna whisk it all together. Okay, awesome. So now just get a whisk out. And then carefully just whisk it all together until it becomes one mixture. It's a little liquidy, so you will just want to be careful at first that the liquid doesn't fly out everywhere. And once it's all mixed together, you'll notice the condensed milk is pretty much combined with everything. It's still gonna look pretty liquidy, but as we let it sit, it will thicken up a little bit. So as I pull up my whisk, I'm not really seeing, I have a few clumps left, not a lot. Once all those clumps are gone, we should be good to go. Okay, looks like I've got all of mine out. So we're just gonna leave that out for now, and we're just gonna keep stirring that occasionally as well as it thickens up. So is everyone all set with their lemon pudding mixture? All right. If you need a little more time, that's fine. I'm just going to take a stir break again, just to mix those blueberries up. This is looking pretty good, so I think I'm gonna take this off the heat as well. So you can see it's pretty much like very liquidy now. There's still some chunks of blueberry in there, which is good. But I'm gonna turn the heat off this and let that cool. And then we're going to get I'm gonna use a glass bowl. Or if you have any other heat-proof bowl, that would work. We're gonna empty that blueberry mixture into a heat-proof bowl so it can cool down. And then we're gonna put that in the fridge to help it cool too.
Is it okay if there's still chunks of blueberry?
Yes, mine has chunks of blueberry too. That's totally fine. All right, so then once you have your blueberry mixture in another bowl, we're just gonna stick that in the fridge to help cool it down. All right. So how is everyone doing? We should have our blueberry mixture in the fridge. We have our pudding mixture right next to us. We're gonna occasionally stir that from time to time as that thickens up. All right. So then now we're going to work on our whipped cream. If you have a stand mixer, you can use a stand mixer. If you have a hand mixer, you can just use a bowl with the hand mixer. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna get a medium-sized bowl out. And the first thing we're going to add to our bowl is 1 cup of heavy cream. Just rinsing out that measuring cup quick. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 cup of heavy cream. All right, and then that's going to go into the bowl. Once you've got that heavy cream in there, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. All right, next we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I have my 1/2 teaspoon here. And all stuck. Okay, there we go. So it's right over the bowl, simple. Right in there. Once you've got your vanilla in there, give me another thumbs up. All right, and then lastly, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar this time. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get that tablespoon, use the back of the butter knife, level it out. Right in there, one more time. Right. Once everyone got that in there, we'll do one more thumbs up. Awesome job, everyone. All right, does anyone need any more time or are we doing okay? All right, looks like we're all good. So before we start to mix this, we're gonna just bring the lemon back in front of us and we're gonna give that a good mix. Mine's still pretty liquidy, but at the bottom I can kind of feel it getting a little thicker. All right. Right, so we're gonna move that to the side again. Once we're done with that. All right, so now we're gonna make our whipped cream. Depending on a few things, it can take anywhere from like 5 to 8 minutes. We're gonna want stiff peaks to form, which means that once the whisks are in there, once you lift them up, the peaks are gonna stay. So I'll show you guys when that happens. As this is gonna take a little bit, so as we do it, I'm just gonna mute myself so you don't hear the sound of my mixer in addition to your mixer. But if you guys have any questions, you can also always unmute yourselves during this. If there's 2 of you cooking, this is a good time. You can always like tag team it a little bit because your hand might get a little tired from all the mixing. But if not, you got it. It's not super bad. So we're gonna do it on high speed. So I'm gonna put the highest mine goes is 5. I don't know if you can see. So I'm gonna put it all the way up there, and then you just go in circles until we start to see those peaks form. All right. All right, mine actually came together pretty quickly. So if you can see, when I lift my whisks out of there, they're not making peaks really, but it's staying up where it is. So once it stays in place, when you move it, that's when you know. You just want to be careful because if you overbeat it, it will become butter eventually. So you can always stop and check as you go. And I'm just saying this now, but Ian and Jenny had asked what would be a dairy-free alternative for condensed milk. I don't know if I've necessarily seen it because I haven't looked for it, but I have heard of companies making like oat milk based condensed milk now in order to have dairy-free alternatives. So I know there's some of them. I don't know how readily available they are or where you can find them. But I do know that I've seen them starting to make them, so they do exist. I believe the one that I saw was oat milk. So you could always look there, search that, and see if you can able to find that. And then there's another chat. Someone asked what we were mixing. I believe that was the pudding at the time. How is everyone doing on their whipped cream? Does anyone need any more time? If you do, totally fine. I'm gonna just these out. One of my favorite parts about this is you can lick it. That's good. That's also a really good basic whipped cream recipe. So if you ever wanted to make your own whipped cream just to have at home for ice cream or to have with berries or anything, that's a really standard homemade whipped cream recipe.
Which whipped cream is it? This one?
The one that we just mixed with the stand mixer or the hand beater. The heavy cream, the vanilla, and the powdered sugar. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna let that go over there for a sec. I'm gonna give my lemon mixture, our yellow mixture, another stir. All right, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our blueberry mixture out of the fridge. Might not be fully cool yet, but it should be cool to help me. We're gonna mix that into our whipped cream that we just mixed together. So we're gonna put the lemon pudding aside again, our yellow lemon pudding mixture, we're gonna put off to the side again. We're gonna take our blueberry mixture from the fridge and add that into our whipped cream. So then this is gonna become a nice light purple color. So once it gets that color, that's exactly what we're looking for. And then once everyone is all done with that, just give me one more thumbs up. I see you guys asked if we're adding the whipped cream yet. So we just added the blueberries into the whipped cream. So the blueberry mixture from the fridge, we took that and we added that into the whipped cream, and that's what gave us this nice light purple mixture here. Okay, I'm seeing there's some coconut milk versions of the condensed milk. That's okay. The blueberry mixture isn't really going to be super thick. Mine was pretty liquidy too. That's totally fine. Once it adds to the whipped cream, it should be a little bit thicker, but even if they're liquidy as you put them in the molds, they're gonna freeze really well too, so it'll be fine. They might just blend together a little more in the popsicle molds, but that's okay. Does anyone need any more time, or are we ready to start assembling our popsicles? All right. Okay, so we really can do this however we want, because you can make them whatever you would like them to look like. In terms of the recipe, it's saying that we would do half lemon and then half blueberry and then repeat that again. So I'm gonna do that just to follow. So I'm just gonna start pouring. Actually, let me put this into. I'm gonna put my lemon pudding mixture into a liquid measuring cup just so it will pour easier with a spout. You do not have to do that. And that mixture still is pretty liquidy too, but it is a thicker liquid. And again, it will freeze. So they might just blend together a little bit more, which is totally okay. All right, so I'm gonna take the lemon and I'm gonna pour a little bit into each one of my molds, about halfway. Mine are kind of small, so I think I might only have room to do half lemon, half blueberry, not repeat it. So I'm just gonna fill them half with each. And then from there, I'm gonna take a nice scoop of the blueberry mixture and put that on top. And then I can swirl that in there if I want to. And this should make, it could make around like 11 to 12 popsicles. I just don't have enough in my mold. So I'm gonna have some extra, so I might do like a little ramekin too or something. And if your molds are bigger, or if you're using the paper cups with the popsicle sticks, those are probably, you would have much more room too to repeat. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl the blueberry around a little bit and kind of spread it out. So I kind of made mine like half and half. The bottom half is going to be the lemon, and then the top half is the blueberry. They didn't really swirl very much. I was trying to get them to be all swirled together, but that didn't really work. But you can really have them however you want them to look. You can even do some with just lemon or just blueberry. What I am going to do though is, since I have some extra, I'm going to grab like a little ramekin and do like a layered one. Just as like a bowl, and then I can just eat that with a spoon. All right, and then if you have all of your popsicles done and ready to go, you can stick those in the freezer. I'm gonna put the covers on mine. Set. And then the leftovers that I have, I'm just gonna stick them in the fridge and keep the blueberry whipped cream to use for maybe like pancakes or something, or just to have with fruit. I only have a little bit of that lemon pudding mixture left, so I'll probably just throw that out. Because, or I think if you put that in the fridge, that would probably become like pudding too. So you could do that as well. Right, I see a bunch of people are all set. I would have loved to take a picture like I like to at the end with our pudding pops, but I didn't want anyone to spill them. So we can just take a nice picture together before we sign off, just us, or you can hold your extra if you want. I'll hold my bowl. So if you'd like to get into the picture, feel free. You can hold your bowl, you can hold your pops if they won't spill. Mine would have spilled, so I didn't want to hold them up. All right, I'm gonna get us ready. All right, I'm gonna count us down. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Beautiful. Does anyone have any questions before we sign off today? I know today's class was a little bit quicker than usual. But hopefully everyone enjoys their pops once they're out of the fridge or freezer rather. Again, nothing is super set for the fall, so just keep your eyes out. When it comes to next classes, we are working on those now, so we'll send out emails. There always will be on Eventbrite, and hopefully you guys will join for those as well. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm excited to cook with you guys again soon next month. Thank you all for coming. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.